Hi everyone, thank you for joining. Welcome to my studio with my virtual tour. I'm just waiting here for a little bit of the technology to kick in and make sure that we are up and running. I just ended up getting a new phone. So I am using the new one, and I just want to make sure that that is just coming up as a live, and we will kind of go from there. Let's just see here. If I go into the notifications, it does show. So thank you. Yes, definitely. Let's just see. I better just turn off that that other device that I'm using. Okay, so yes, thank you so much. Wow, I apologize for anyone that might have been looking for the 1 o'clock virtual hangout. I was actually in I'm in Southern Ontario, so we're very fortunate to be close to several lakes and freshwater lakes in Southern Ontario. So I was at Port Stanley having a lunch with friends at GT's on the beach. If you're ever in that area, that is a go-to place. Great service, great food, and of course I had great company. So thanks folks, it was really a nice day. And then of course we finished off with Shaw's Dairy. So I'm Nadine V at Stamp with Nadine V, and I am a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada. So if you do not have a demonstrator here in Canada, I can support you and help you out with your paper crafting needs. So this is, I actually don't even know, someone may have an idea of how many of these virtual hangouts I've done so far. I want to make sure that I give you guys and girls some really good information on how to make crafting, paper crafting easy. All right, so I've got a couple announcements before we get really truly started. I just actually received my paper pumpkin. Oh my goodness, it just came in the mail today. It is for the month of July. Actually, what I might do is just do a quick reveal. I don't want to tell them if anyone has not received their kit yet and they still want their surprise, just kind of hold off on watching this video in the next for the next minute or so. But I'm just going to show you in here. This is how the box would come. Now, paper pumpkin, if it's your first ever time subscribing to it, your first kit would actually come with a clear block. Now it would be something like this. As a paper pumpkin, it's a smaller, thinner plastic clear block, but that's where you would fix your stamps too. And this would be the stamps. Gives you a good amount of stamps. And I'm not going to really go back through the kit at this video, but I just wanted to show you that if you subscribe for next month, the Hope Kit. Now, this lady here is the co-founder of Stampin' Up! And her name is Shelly Gardner, and she is the most delightful woman. Her daughter is the CEO of the company presently, but Shelly has created this box for the month of August. Again, it's the Hope Box, and if you ever go on to YouTube or you just type in Shelly Gardner Hope Box through Paper Pumpkin, she will explain to you her box and what that looks like for her. You know, it's a time, yeah, we can really seek those connections. You know, we can cherish those friendships, and really about that time and to share hope. So anyways, that is for that, and this box that I got here is themed the adventure begins. So it's really truly about the summer, outdoors, friendships, and all that, and all the exciting things to come. All right, so that I'll just tuck aside. Also, remember, please, if you haven't already, sign up for my Christmas in July. That's happening July 31st. It's a Saturday event. We are having in person. It will be an in-person as long as we are safe. We do our practice safe measures with the COVID stuff. So that's a really great event. It's my 4th annual, so I'm really looking forward to share some really great new product that Stampin' Up! Have for Christmas, as well as get a kickstart on making some of those Christmas cards for those loved ones. And there's going to be prizes and some games, so it's going to be a really good time. So sign up, go onto my web page, and find the link there. Okay, all right, so what I've done is, and I've not glued these down on this piece of paper here, and you can see they're sliding around, but I wanted to show you the versatility of this actual pierced bloom die set that I'm going to be using some of the pieces for. Now I'm just going to see if I can grab this up a little bit higher, just so that I'm noticing that it's not quite in the, I'm just going to kind of see if hopefully that opens things up a little bit. All right, so it comes actually with 25 pieces, dies, okay? So the versatility is there. I've just used a couple different colored, there's some in colors that I've been using, so the early evergreen and the fresh freesia, excuse me, the pale papaya, and I think this one I used is the So Saffron. So that's one of the other color collections, but you know what, it's still very, very beautiful. And really, again, just mixing and matching. Some of these here will go inside as centers. You know what, they could be flowers themselves if you wanted to add a couple collections. You can see here, if you're just wanting to add a small amount of design in a card project. I thought for sure we could easily do say a quick on the go, let's say scrapbook page. Say you're at the cottage, or you're just, you know, at home and you're wanting to do something because you've taken some really great pictures of some family activities in the last little while. Definitely this would work well with a scrapbook page, or a book, even if you want to do a series. Maybe you're wanting to, maybe it's not family that you've taken a picture of, but you've taken pictures of your garden or the lovely flowers that you've seen on your walking paths and that. So you know what, it's a great die set that it can be used on its own. I personally don't have the stamp set that it coordinates with. Now the stamp is in color, no, sorry, in color, my goodness, giggle. In Bloom, that is the name of the stamp set, and that's on page 30 in your annual catalog. That is a coordinating stamp set that goes with it. It doesn't come as a bundle because this is not a new product to the annual catalog, but it is a returning favorite. So it is fairly new, so not everyone may have seen this particular stamp set or this die set, but I thought it was just really nice on its own, without having to get the stamp set if you choose not to want that at all. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that out aside. Now I really totally kind of went on a limb here, and I wanted to make sure I did something a little bit different. As you noticed when I posted this this card that I'm going to make tonight, and I'm actually going to make another couple cards too tonight, just because I have time to craft in my space tonight. I didn't post, if you noticed, I didn't post any measurements, but I will, and if you've noticed on the link to this Facebook Live, I have and will be at the end of this live posting the measurements for these two different types of cards that I'm making tonight. Okay, so I will tell you them as I'm working along with them, but as far as them being written down right now, they're not. Okay, so I do have a card base, and this is just a standard 8.5 by 5.5. Okay, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. And then what I've done is on the front of the card, I've also taken the diagonal score, and you can see it in the lighting. I have it brought back, and whether you have the scoreboard or you have the actual paper trimmer, all you're needing to do, and I'm going to show you here, if you haven't ever done that before, what I'm going to do is just bring out the trimmer here. All right, again, because you can see here, you've got the cutting blade and also the stylus, the scoring stylus. So you don't have to be too concerned, but if you were to take the corner of this paper and then line it up with the seam here, let me bring this up a little bit farther so you guys can see here. Okay, so you've got that point there and you've got that point there, and make sure you have the actual stylus, and then you can just kind of come along like that, okay? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, so then you've got that nice little spot there with the line. Now this white card, you guys know I normally don't even give you the measurements for the inside of the card, but I did today, and I believe this one, because I can do 2 different insides to a card that is this measuring this 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So what I'm going to do is that one I believe is probably 3. I'm just going to measure it with here, so it's 3 1/2 by 5. It should be 3 1/2 by 5. There we go. You can see there it just lines right up with the 5. Okay, so 3 1/2 by 5. But you can also do a 4 inch by 5 1/4, and I can also post that as an inside measurement as well. All right. Okay, so I'm going to put that there, and I've got actually I've kind of cut one piece that's 4 by 5 1/4, and what I've done is I've actually taken 2. I've taken 2 so that I have 2 cards to work with. So you can see here, if I just do this, all right, I've gotten 2 paper, oops, there we go. Where are we here? I'm gonna do a puzzle here. We're gonna do a puzzle. All right. So there we've got that, okay. And there we go. And there we go. Okay, so there we have 2 pieces that I've done exactly how I have cut, but I've just cut it down to, like I said, instead of it being this size here, it is just a 1/4 inch all the way around, smaller, okay? And what it will do is we'll be putting one on this side, okay, of that score line in the middle, and the other will be on the score line, okay? So then you actually have, when you cut 2, you actually have enough cardstock once you start flipping these over, because the DSP offers you 2 patterns on each, 1 pattern on each side. So the versatility again is there for that. All right, now I also asked you to have, you could see in the measurements, or sorry, not the measurements, the actual description, the picture, was a tag. Okay, so a small tag, medium tag, whatever tag you have in your crafting stash. A couple small, I'm using the pierced bloom dies, so I'm saying the flowers, but if you don't have flowers and you have another shape, a couple small shapes, and of course I want to accent those with the centers and just coordinate with the opposite color for each of those flowers. And also I want to have a cluster of images that I've stamped, or you could punch out like I have here with the dies, and we'll be using those as well. Okay, we'll see as it goes how we are managing with time and how quickly I can get this card put together. I will probably add some bling bling, some wink of Stella, and I'll be doing a little stamp on this. Now with the stamp image, for the sentiment, I'm going to be using this welcoming window. This again is in the annual catalog, and I'm going to use this for this card, my sweet friend, and then on the inside, on the interior cardstock, which is the basic white, sending sunshine for a beautiful birthday. So I'll be using that that stamp as well, and I might as well, just while I'm talking about it, I will pull it out. Oh my gosh, yesterday I have to share, I really have to share how sweet my friends are. people I used to work with actually that did become very, very dear friends of mine. And some were friends before my workplace time, but they had a surprise birthday party and my husband knew about it and I had no idea. And it was a beautiful afternoon, and it was at my house. Some of us swam in the pool and some of us just kind of hung out and enjoyed our company. Everyone brought potluck and it was like, oh my gosh, they had cake and oh, it was a great party. And it was so nice that we could gather, and we were obviously social distancing and doing what we could to be safe. And thank you for any of you girls that are out there in the virtual world listening to my video tonight. Again, thank you so much. It meant my heart was full. My heart's been full. It's just been a great week. Okay, so what we're going to do is take this cardstock, and I'm just going to use my Stampin' seal, and I'm just going to affix this cut piece of DSP on there. All right, and I want this side here on the other side. And again, too, it's whatever DSP you have, and don't forget that DSP is on sale, 15%. Until our mini catalog goes live. And if you do not have your mini catalog yet, and again, you don't have a demonstrator that can get one to you, please let me know. Comment, like, and share. If you've already been a support in my business, yours is coming to you, or it's going to be coming to you shortly. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is now that we've got that glued on there, I'm going to take this. Interior cardstock, and what I'm going to do is grab that. Let me see. We're going to use Misty Moonlight as the ink. We're going to pull out Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to stamp that sending shots. So I can't even spoke, ladies and gentlemen. No alcohol has been involved. Okay, so I'm going to put this down here, sending sunshine for a beautiful birthday. All right, and the effect of how and why I would have that scored front card front is because once we are done creating this card, you'll see why. All right, so we should probably grab that other stamp that says, if I can find it now. Oh, there we go. Yeah, my sweet friend. So I'm going to grab, I'm going to put that on this, the bottom of this. Is that in the camera? There we go. Please know that if I'm not able to see any of your comments during this live feed, you know, I will get back to you, just because I've got my head down at the tabletop, and it's only gonna, you know, I want to be able to engage with you guys and girls. Okay. All right, so I've got those two there. Let's start putting these flowers. Now, these big flowers, I'm going to do a cluster of them. I'm going to grab, now this one got a little bit carried away in the cut and boss machine, and it doesn't have it, so I'm going to tuck that one. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to use it. I'm not going to stew about that not working out to its best advantage, as far as, you know, I'm going to work with that. Okay, I'm not worried. All right, so I'm going to grab the glue dots here, and I'm going to grab my take a pick tool. So if you don't have glue dots, you can always use white Tombow glue. You can use the fine tip glue. Again, glue dots are great. Great if you want. We'll probably be using a little bit of a dimensional as well, so that we can raise this up from the cardstock, and you'll see why in a minute. Let's see. Put that one there. Why not? Again, whether it's 3 or 4, maybe even a large, what you call it, like a large image that you've cut out. But you do want it layered. You just don't want the regular stamp. All right, so now let's get some more glue dots. Let's put one there. Okay. And I'm not afraid to use the glue dots. And you can see here what I've done is taken a little bit of ribbon, twine, ribbon, string, whatever you have in your space, so that when you are working along the glue dots, you can see here. And as I'm done, I can just rip that off, put that paper in the garbage, and then I can continue to work with the glue dots. And then when it just stays together so it doesn't unravel, and that way things stay neat. And when I'm done with the actual roll, I just slip it back in the box, and then we're good to go for the next time, okay? Alrighty, and let's put that one. Well, let's see, maybe we don't need that one on there. I'm gonna say let's 3. All right, so where is the glue dots? I have to get the glue dots. I've got glue dots, but I need now dimensionals, right? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I'll use some of these minis. So when you're working with some larger projects, what you can do is you can always use what you call it, the dark dimensionals, darker cardstock, I should say. You can use your black dimensionals. They come as well in the mini and the regular size dimensionals. And let's say Kylie Bertucci in Australia, her husband, I guess, posted earlier today, if anyone follows anyone from Australia, I don't know, it was a yes or no question, and he put, I did not count, I just saw the picture, but there was approximately 20 dimensionals on the back of a card project. I don't know what the front of the project did look like, but I thought it was a little bit more than maybe he may have needed. But you know what, I am one of the ones I probably would follow to say that I'm not afraid to use dimensionals. So if you do need to use dimensionals, don't be afraid to use more than you want. You want that project to stand up. Okay, so here we go. All right. So we're going to, let's say, I want it to be, I want this placed, I'm going to put that, say right there, okay? All right, so that hopefully will be, I probably should have glued this down before I put the raised image down. I'm going to grab this card, but look how easy this is going to be. Okay, so that still gives you enough space to write who it's for and who it's from. Okay, so then what we're going to do is grab this. Okay, now I'm going to see about there. All right, so that kind of gives you an idea of how the card is going to sit. Okay, and then with the tag, we're not wanting to attach it to the full front of the card. We're only going to want to put it here. So I'm going to grab these smaller flowers, and I'm just going to grab dimensionals, or sorry, oh my goodness, glue dots, and we'll just put 2 glue dots. There we go. I want that one to interchange like that. Okay, so there. I am going to, actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to take a pick tool. I can always put a little bit of a gem on there. It may have wrecked the paper a little bit, but I'm going to grab my Stampin' seal. And I'm just going to fix that right on there. So it kind of complements like the interior of the card too by the stamp set with the images above, okay? So then now what I'm going to do here is make sure that I only affix the adhesive on this side, okay? All right. If I can get that about halfway. We could do about halfway. Alrighty. Okay, so there we go. My sweet friend, okay? Then you can open it up and then it can stand up like that, okay? If you wanted to, you can always take, I'm gonna see if this works too, because I could have raised that flower a little bit. So if you wanted to, you could do it this way and have it only on the bottom part. Again, it's your vision, and whatever works for you. And then you can do it and have a card like that, okay? There we go. Okay. And that's my friend sending sunshine for a special birthday. So this is another one that I've kind of pre-cut already for us. And again, it's using a different cardstock, which is the Fresh Freesia. And I'm going to just fix this, let's see which side, it doesn't really matter. There we go. We'll just use that because I like that daisy is pointing up. Okay. Why not? Let's make some cards. Okay. And again, I will be posting all the measurements for these as well. So, because I have grabbed I'm just going to grab some flowers, and let's see, we're going to have some leaves on there this time too. Why not add some leaves? And let's see, maybe a couple other flowers. Alrighty. Why not? Okay. So I'm going to grab some white cardstock, and then we can cut a sheet of paper for the inside of the card. Now, if you wanted to put the insert of this card and do it through an embossing folder before you actually put it down on the inside of the card, you could do that as well. Okay, I would personally, if you are going to use an embossing folder for the interior layer, I would totally want to stamp my image, whichever image I'm using, first before I put it through the embossing folder, because that will give you a nice effect. So one sheet will actually cut with this measurement when you're doing 5 by 3.5 inside layers in your cards. Will actually give you 5 instead of 4 if you do a traditional 4 by 5.25 sheets, okay? And in fact, it will actually give you 2 strips here left, so they could be used for tags if you're wanting to for another project or the project you're working on. All right. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is, this time I'm actually going to bring the card layer inside first. I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to do it a little bit different than I did on the first card. Alrighty, and we'll still stamp. I'm going to grab the fresh freesia, and I'm going to grab the fresh freesia. I'm just going to make sure, clean off that stamped image. I'm going to actually pull out my wash and dry. There we go. It's this little guy here. I do use a chamois, but I also have this guy that's in the annual, and you can use a spray. It's a cleaning spray, and I mist that on the one side, and the other side just dries the actual stamp, so that's nice. All right. So again, sending sunshine for a beautiful birthday. There we go. Alrighty. Alrighty, so now let's get, actually I'm gonna just put some of these in. Again, I'm doing things a little bit differently. I may have done something a little bit different on the other card, but again, sometimes it's about trial and error and actually doing the same but a little bit better. So the first one you could see here, I literally just put it down with adhesive, and now I'm using the dimensional. I really want that to pop up. I'm gonna grab a couple dark circles. There we go. And I'll put that one on once I get that brought on. I'm using my little poker on my take a pick tool and picking up all the backs of that two-sided dimensional, and then I just took them like that, and it just makes it easier. No muss, no fuss, and I just put them in that little basket that I have working beside me here. Okay. Okay. And if you wanted to, you could put a dimensional on that guy too. That would be fine. But just having that little flower up raised, and you'll see why it affects, it's gonna just make that even better like that. So what I'm gonna do is now take the friend, my sweet friend, and I'm gonna grab this guy here with the leaves. Where is my glue dots? I'm gonna put this guy, actually, oops, I'm gonna change it because the guy was upside down, wasn't it? There we go. I'm gonna put him on the right side. I'm gonna put the glue dot on the proper side, and I'm just going to bring that like that, and I'm gonna use a couple glue dots. Let's use this one too, and we'll just do a little glue dot. Sorry, I might not be working in the camera here. Should look up to see where I am at here. And let's just do that. Now, I am going to grab some early espresso, the Stampin' Rights, and what I'm gonna do is just kind of come in here and I'm just gonna create its own center. don't know if it gives too much of a major effect there, but I think it needs some wink of Stella. And we're just going to add a little bit of glimmer and hope. Oh, the leaves have to have some. There you go. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that that is just on this side here. And what I'm going to do is just add some adhesive there. Again, you can use some dimensionals if you want to pop that up. Okay, there we go. And there's that card there. Voila. So I don't know if you can see that, how that stands up quite pretty. All right, so it's a nice, you'll have enough room. If you wanted to, you could put the flowers or the image a little bit lower, maybe have the stamped sediment on the top. It's really up to you, but I thought that that was a really neat way to showcase a little, you know, not really a fancy fold, but if you want to call it that, it was just a little bit different than a regular card. So I thought that that would be great and easy to fold to go into the mail. Now, here's the neat thing. I have created one that is a little bit different in the regards to the measurements. Now, this actually measures 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and it's actually, instead of having just one pop-up, it actually has 3. So what you're going to be doing is, and we'll quickly do this, and I can show you an easy trick. If we grab this card, let's see, let's grab this guy here. So let's say we took this cardstock, and again it measures 5, and I want, this one does say 5 1/2. I want to go down to 5 1/4, and the reason why is it's going to make it easier for measurements when I'm cutting. All right, so 5 1/4, it's going to fit into a regular envelope. It's a little bit smaller, but it will still fit, and it's going to be a little bit thicker because there's going to be some more layers. We're still going to have it scored at 4 1/4. Okay, so I'm just gonna score that with the stylus here a little bit deeper. All right, and then what we're going to be doing is cutting 1, and I believe it's 1 1/2, and we're going to go right to the score line, and that's it. All right, and I'm going to turn it to the side because I want to be able to see in my view so that you can see it as well. I've got the cutting blade, and I'm going to be cutting 1 1/2. You can see here that it's 1 1/2, and I'm only going to go to this score line, which is the center fold. Okay, so I'm going to grab my cutting blade, and I'm just going to come along, and I'm going to come just to that. Okay, all right, and then I'm going to go to 3. All right, I'm going to do 3 cuts. So this is the second cut. Again, I'm going to come along, and I'm going to go right to, I hope this is, again, this is live, but there we go. All right. And then that isn't right, is it? I don't think that is. Hold on. Bear with me. Bear with me. Of course, when I have the card and I'm looking for it, I can't find it, right? And it's probably underneath the, here, it's underneath, yeah. So let me just double check that. Because see, live TV, you make mistakes and you correct them, right? So it is 1 3/4. Okay, for sure. All right, so let's try that again. All right, so let's see if we have another piece of cardstock. That's not wasting either, and guess what I'm gonna do? I'll be using that card to get cardstock to make another card. So it's 1 3/4. So I'm gonna go, all right, so I'm gonna score it. This is how I'm gonna get 2 cards. Alrighty. And again, we're not going to go to the 5 1/2. We're going to go 5 1/4. All right, so let's try this again. All right, so we're going to take this, and it's 1 3/4. All right. So I'm going to go 1 3/4. All right. There we go. And again, I want to take it right to the actual seam. All right. And I'm going to bring it to, so 1 3/4, that's 3 1/4. That should be right. Let's just double check that. 1 3/4. So if I take, that's 3 1/4. Yeah, it should be 3 1/4. I'm gonna do the math here, right? Oh my goodness. Three 1/4. There we go. Let's try this, folks. All right, and that should go right there. And there's just actually 2 cuts. So we've got 1, 2, and a 3, and it still doesn't look quite right. But we've got 3 folds here. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a score line from this corner of the card right to the score line. Okay, so now I'm going to just turn this to make it easier for me, and I think that's what's really making things a little bit difficult. So see how it's hard to see the score line and where this track is. You're just going to fold that. That was a technique I wanted to show you if you're having to do this type of a card. You know that you've taken it right to the corner of that score line, and then you can bring that and line that right up there to that. Okay, so when you come down, all right, I'm gonna grab that score line with the tool, with the stylus there. I'm gonna line that right up, and you know, take your time. There's no rush. Okay, and then now you can tuck that one in, bring that one out. All right, line that up. All right. All right. And then this here, here we go. Okay. So now you've got 3. There we go. So I just wanted to show you that technique. Measurements might be a little bit off, but I'm going to be using this guy here. Okay. So what I've done is I've cut 6 pieces of, they're actually 1 1/2, and that's where I got that measurement from before. So it's 1 1/2 by 4. All right. And we're just going to take these guys here, and we're going to line those right up here. All right. And again, you can use a white Tombow glue, and you can see it just adds a nice little border, bordered edge around those DSP strips. There we go. Summertime, summertime, summertime. Oh my gosh, we're already almost in, well, we're at 15th. It's the 15th of July. We're like in the summer here, folks. Wow. It's really so hard to believe. All right, we need 3 of these, and there's only 2. Ha, ha, ha. All right, so there we go. Yeah, this is just the opposite. What you're doing is cutting the opposite piece of the DSP and flipping it over. So in fact, because I've cut these strips the way I have, they have made it, now I can actually make 2 cards. so now I am going to grab one of these little guys here, and we're going to stagger the flowers. Now I'm going to use, let's see here, I'm gonna grab some. Now some of these flowers, okay, they may not totally coordinate, but you know what, we're gonna make it work just for this live so that I can show you how to impress your friend when you're making a card for them. All right, so let's see, we need to get some dimensionals. Let's get a piece of cardstock because I cut those pieces of cardstock. So we're going to open that up. All right, let's see what we can do. I know what we could stamp. I'm going to see here if I have a tag I could use. Let's see. Let's see if that fits new. We could make a thank you. You know what I'm gonna do? That was a actual cutout from that In Blooms, the pierced blooms die. All right, so let's take this here and we're gonna stamp. Let's see, we can use Evening Evergreen, why not? And I like this saying, wishing our paths crossed a little more often. And we could do something like thank you on the inside. Let's see where thank you is. There we are. This is totally pre-out to no plans. No plans. So let's do thank you. Let's put thank you right there. Alrighty. And I'm not sure if the actual die is going to be big enough for this. We will make it work. We can put it on an angle. And let's see. Let's see, do I want a flower pot? We could put a door bricks possibly. Anything is possible. All right, see, that makes it work like that. If you can see that. Oops. Alrighty. So we will just grab. I'm all over the place tonight. What do you think of the cards so far? Do you like this design? Again, if you're just coming in and you haven't been with me since the beginning of this live, I will be posting measurements under the live feed once this video is done, okay? So no worries. And the products I used, of course, too, so that if you're wondering which die or which stamp sets I'm using. Let's see. I'm going to grab my scissors, and I know that not everybody likes to fussy cut, but I'm just going to do a quick cut tag. It may not be straight here. I could easily just probably put it on my trimmer as well. Oh my, folks, let's just grab that trimmer. I like things a little bit more precision than that. And let's just say we did. And you know what? I'm going to put a little fishtail on that. And you can always do the snip like that. And then take your corner up to the edge of that cut line. And take another like that. And there we have a little tag on the edge. Okay, so here what we can do is grab, because we've got those guys there. I am going to take this tag and I'm just going to put a little bit on that edge on this, not on this side, but on this side. I'm going to put it right in the middle. All right, and I'm going to grab some, let's see, what do I have here? Oh, I know what I could use. Let's see. What do we have? What can we use? Oh, let's go for some real bling here. I've got some Gilded Gems, and these are very pretty. I'm glad that they're a returning embellishment. They are really pretty. So I'm gonna put an embellishment there, and we can use a small one. Again, I'm using the putty tip of this. Okay, all right. So that's good there. All right, so now I'm gonna fix this down. Again, you can use, again, white Tom blue glue. It's whatever adhesive you would have to place your card down. Your paper stock, whatever you prefer. This is acid-free adhesives that we use, Stampin' Up! Offer, especially for the scrapbooker and working with photos and things like that. You want to have a good quality adhesive. All right, so now I've got an embellishment, or like an embellishment, but a flower that I've already pre-cut. So I'm just going to grab, let's see, I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and I'm going to pop that up. I want that to pop up. All right, why not? We'll add another dimensional. Okay, now I'm going to be, you can see I've cut three different sections. So I'm just going to put that one right there, so you can see how that is taking form. And I'm going to place this one, I'm going to stagger that one, and I'm going to place that one, yeah, let's see, right there. Let's get the dimensionals on that. And this was actually the first actual card that I saw with this type of a design, and I thought, wow, I'm gonna play with the measurements and kind of see what works for me and the products that I have, and I was able to come up with this. And then that first two cards that I showed you, they were kind of, I thought, well, I'm gonna do something really simple, and I'm still playing with different angles and directions, but at the end of the day, I thought that actually really works well. So I want to not cover up the thank you, of course, but this I want to have a stand up there. Okay, there we go. So I've got two there already. Yay! Can see how cool is that? Oh my goodness. And all right, so now we've got this guy here, and I'm gonna put that, let's see, maybe I'm gonna use a smaller one. Maybe I have a smaller flower, because the reason why is that larger one just is a little bit too large. That seems to be a lot better. And I'm gonna add the flower to that one, why not? All right, so let me get a glue dot. And I'm gonna put that right on the right side of that. Turn that over, grab some dimensionals. No rhyme or reason. And yes, the best compliment that you could give me is to share with your friends the projects that are created in these videos. And there we go. There we go. So if you see here, you've got wishing our paths crossed more often, and then it says thank you. So it really gives you a nice card to mail, to pop up in an envelope and send. It's a really great technique. I thought it was cute to share. All right. Well, listen, folks. Again, don't forget my Christmas in July. I'm really excited about that. Next week is my birthday. Yay! And it's really, I've been celebrating really all month. I've been telling everybody it's my birthday month. So, yeah, if you purchase something from me this month, if you spend over $60, you do obviously get always a special thank you gift from me. But there's also some more exciting things ahead with it being my birthday month. And stay tuned for those surprises. Again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm really thrilled to be able to offer you these card designs and wonderful product that Stampin' Up! Have to offer. And again, thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. And until next time, bye for now.